All right, today we're going to dive into something that's, well, it's a bit of a paradox, right? Why is it that so many really smart, capable people get trapped in this endless loop of overthinking?
You know the feeling, don't you? Something tiny happens during your day, maybe a throwaway comment from a coworker or a friend, but then hours later, your brain just refuses to let it go. It's just playing on a loop again and again.
And that's when the questions kick in. Suddenly, you're second guessing every single word you said. You're analyzing your tone, your phrasing, literally everything.
And then it shifts, right? You start dissecting their reaction. You're wondering, did they get what I meant? Should I have said it differently? Or, maybe I just shouldn't have said anything at all.
So, if that whole mental replay thing sounds super familiar, you're not just a warrior. There's actually a name for this pattern. It's called overthinking. And this is the real kicker. The very same brain that makes you so sharp, so good at analyzing really complex problems, well, it can turn around and become its own worst enemy. That incredible asset can flip into a source of just constant exhaustion.
So that brings us to this first big idea, what we call the intelligence trap. And this concept really gets to the heart of why a super sharp mind can sometimes, work against itself.
Okay, so what is overthinking at its core? It's basically analysis paralysis. Your brain has this amazing ability to see every little variable, every possible outcome, and it just kicks into overdrive. So instead of actually moving toward a solution, your mind just keeps churning out more and more scenarios, turning what should be productive thought into just mental noise.
Let's think about it like this. Your brain's knack for spotting patterns and analyzing details, that's a superpower, for real. But when that power isn't focused on something specific, it turns into a trap. It just locks you in this endless cycle of what ifs instead of guiding you to a clear-cut decision. Imagine you're standing at a crossroads, but instead of seeing like 2 or 3 paths, your mind is showing you hundreds of them. The sheer volume of options just becomes completely overwhelming, and it makes it feel almost impossible to just pick one and start walking. And look, this habit isn't harmless. It has real costs. It just absolutely drains your mental energy. It ramps up your anxiety, and it slowly chips away at your confidence until even simple things, like figuring out what to have for dinner, can feel like this massive, high-stakes decision. But here's the good news. You are not stuck. You can actually train your brain to break free from this loop. So let's get into 3 really practical strategies to do exactly that. Okay, here's the game plan. It all boils down to 3 key steps: giving yourself a time limit, getting all those thoughts out of your head and onto paper, and then just taking that first small step forward. All right, let's break down strategy number 1. The next time you have a decision to make, give yourself a strict time limit. I'm talking 5 minutes, maybe 10. The whole point is to create a boundary. When that timer goes off, you just make the best call you can with the info you have right then, and you move on. And this points to such a crucial truth. Clarity rarely comes from more thinking. It comes from doing. Taking action gives you real-world data and feedback, while just sitting there thinking, well, that just recycles the same old thoughts. Now, this next one is so powerful. When all those worries are just swirling around inside your head, they feel enormous and chaotic, right? But the second you get them down on paper, something almost magical happens. Your brain starts to organize them, and you can see them for what they really are. And you know what? They're usually way smaller and more manageable than you thought. And finally, number 3, just take one small action. See, overthinking always lives in some scary, hypothetical future. But action grounds you right here in the present. By taking even the tiniest little step forward, you physically break that cycle of rumination, and you prove to your brain, hey, look, moving forward is possible. Okay, so let's tie this all together. The goal here isn't to stop thinking altogether. That's impossible. It's about making your thinking more effective so that it serves you instead of paralyzing you. And let's be really clear about something. Your ability to think deeply, that's a gift. It truly is. It's what lets you solve complex problems and see the world in ways a lot of other people can't. We don't ever want to get rid of that. But when that powerful engine gets stuck in neutral, just revving and spinning its wheels, what does it accomplish? Nothing. It just burns through your energy and completely steals your peace of mind. And that right there is the ultimate goal. It's not about being the person who thinks the most. It's about being the person who can think clearly, make a solid decision, and then actually move forward. It's all about channeling that incredible mental energy toward a specific target. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. The next time you feel your mind starting to spin out, creating 1,000 different scenarios, what's the one small step you're going to take to break that cycle and just move forward?